First off, I have to say, fix the lag in large team modes. It is absolutely insane. The server lag in large team modes needs to be fixed. This should be a priority considering how popular large team modes are. But Epic, for some reason, just want to bring out new content and want to just fuck up competitive even more rather than actually fixing stuff. Heyo, whatever. Anyway, so, how's it going, guys? It's Cypnos back on our video. Today we are going to be talking about, or discussing, I guess, whether Epic should cater to the casual community or the pro community. So, let's start off by saying this season has been absolutely, without a doubt, there isn't even like, it doesn't even come close. This season has been the absolute worst in terms of what they've added. It started off obviously with the boot. Crazy OP items. Epic were just so ignorant and just so they just didn't want to nerf it. They're like, nah, do you know what? We don't care about you. We don't even care about the game anymore. We're not gonna nerf it. We don't care if you drop numbers. We don't care. We're millionaires. Fuck it. Not even that. We're billionaires. Fuck it. But they pretty much just dropped the ball on us. They were like, here's boots. They were competitive. That's quite funny how they can have a competitive scene with boots in it. But anyway, yeah, so they dropped boots, and then of course they dropped the junk rift. Boots have of course had a nerf, but the fact that they're still in the game is bad enough. The fact they're still competitive is just a joke. But yeah, so they made the boots, and then they put junk rifts in. Both are incredibly broken and just stupid. But I mean, casual players might need them. You know, casual players might need the new items. The shield bubble, I think, is actually a pretty decent item. I'm glad that you can't shoot through it when you're inside it. So like, you can't shoot other players that are outside the ball, or outside the bubble. Sorry, when you're inside it, that'd be kind of OP. I'm glad that like you can't shoot in or out of it. That's good. So, casual players might need those new items. However, the items fuck over pro players so much, it is actually crazy. I have never seen items muck over pro players so much. Even the sword back in season 7 wasn't as bad as the brutes and the junk rift, because obviously we got competitive with mechs and junk rifts both together. And actually, as I'm recording this video, only about half an hour ago, the content update for this week was announced, and they did say that mechs will be returning back to competitive at some point this week, I think they said. So it's entirely possible, I think, that with tomorrow's content update, they will bring back mechs into competitive, which, I mean, that speaks for itself. But yeah, I mean, these new items, they really do just muck over pro players so much. Like, a pro player gets annoyed when a casual kills them with an OP item such as the brute, but casuals get annoyed when a pro kills them. I've got annoyed when people way above my skill range have killed me. It's just natural reactions, you know, you're gonna get annoyed when something doesn't go your way. And it works both ways, you know, like Epic adding these OP items, pros are going to complain when casuals use them to kill them. Mainly because it takes zero skill, and you have to learn, I think, like 3 controls, pretty much. You have to learn how to actually move the thing, and you have to learn how to shoot it, and that is it. There's little to no actual learning involved with the boot, and that is why it's such a dumb item. But yeah, so casual players get annoyed when a pro kills them, and pros get annoyed when a casual kills them with an OP item. However, pros mostly know what's better for the game. You'll never see a casual really saying like, oh, add this, add that, like, add this item, I think this is really good because it does this, or it does that, or it balances out the game in this way. But you'll see a pro player like saying like, vault this, because it's just too OP. Like, every single pro on Twitter at the start of the season, or throughout the whole season, has been saying, vault the mechs, vault the junk rifts, just vault all of this stupid stuff, because it just doesn't belong in the game. And I mean, I did see some casuals join the remove the mech movement, the hashtag remove the mech movement. I did see some casuals, But obviously, you mostly see pros doing it. You know, you see teams like FaZe, teams like Liquid, teams like NRG, all that. They're all joining in the movement. Hashtag remove the mech. But you don't really see that many casuals. Obviously, there's going to be casuals that are just joining in because they agree with it, or just because, I don't know, maybe they want clout or something. I don't know. But you will see some casuals, but mostly you'll see pros complain about all this stuff, saying remove this, add this, change this, because they mostly know what's better for the game. Because they want they want items that actually involve skill, rather than just pretty much a kill or a win given to you. Like the mechs, they don't involve skill at all. You know, you can get a win, or you could have got a win and many kills very, very easily at the start of the season with the mechs. Like me and my friend, we started playing a lot at the start of the season, and I messaged him, I texted him, and I said, like, you know, we should probably use the mechs to get a win in duos, and then we can just forget about getting a win for all season. Because we only really care about wins to get the umbrella, and then we don't really care about actually winning anymore. We mostly just grind out challenges and grind out the battle pass after that. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say remove the mechs 100%. There's really no point in having them. But yeah, pros mostly know what's better for the game. However, Epic cannot remove or change or add something that everyone will agree with, because the player base is so huge and just so split. Epic adds, like, the sword. There's people that did like it. Obviously, the majority, like 95% of the players hated it because it's just so OP. But there will have been those players that did like it, maybe because they got their first win with it, maybe because it was easier to play the game with it. But for the most part, it was obviously crazy OP. But like, there were going to be people that would be angry when they removed it, and that's the same with the boot. Like, I saw like every time that I replied to Fortnite's tweet saying remove the boot, I always still see people saying like, oh, it's nerfed now, like, get used to it. No, either they're saying that because like they're just fed up of seeing complaints, or they're saying that because they actually like it and they want it in the game. I wouldn't. I mean, I don't really like blame them for complaining about still seeing complaints. There's a lot of complaints about Fortnite, especially during this season. I don't really blame them for getting tired of seeing complaints. But, like, Epic just can't make everyone happy. That's the problem. They cannot make every single player happy. Just because the playbase, like 250 million registered users, and the peak concurrent player number has currently been 10 million on that one time, and I think that's actually a week after the Marshmallow event. So, with a player base so huge and so split, Epic cannot, they just cannot add or change or remove something that everyone will agree with. Now, another point is, when you think about it, casuals are not the ones going against top tier players trying to win millions. So, as a casual player, I'm a bit of a casual player. I've been sort of sliding into the competitive side a bit more recently because I enjoy it more. I really like the intensity of the end games that you get in like a World Cup match. I really like that kind of intense ending because like you always need to be doing multiple things, and I actually really like it because like it encourages multitasking so hard. Like, you see a guy on your right, you have to shoot him, but at the same time there's a guy on your left who you might have to stink, so that like you're damaging that guy with the stink, and at the same time you're damaging the other guy with your actual gun. So I have been sort of getting into the competitive side, but for the most part I am still a casual player, especially with this season, with all the stuff that they've been adding. I'm not really into the competitive side anymore because there's just simply not really any real competition anymore with the mechs and Junkriffs. But the point is, I really digressed there. The point is, I do apologize for digressing. The point is, casuals are not the ones playing in the World Cup. You know, pros are the ones playing in the World Cup. You could go from being a casual to being a pro, yes, but that, like, you've gone from being a casual to being a pro. That means you're no longer a casual. That means you're now a pro player, most likely playing for a team to earn X amount of money in the tournament to then I'll do whatever you want with it. But like, the casuals are not the ones playing against people like Tfue, people like Cloaksy, people like Nick Merckx, people like I don't know, Booga. He won the World Cup. You know, people like Mongrel, Accra. That's a team. Accra Cool, I meant. Nyrox. You know, the duo that won the World Cup. Scissors. All these pros. Mongrel, I already said Mongrel. Metro, Benji Fishy, Mr. Savage, Nate Hill, Funk Bomb. You get the point. Casuals are not the ones going against these top tier players to get millions of dollars from every tournament. So, in theory, Epic should really be... did you hear that? In theory, Epic should really be catering towards the pros because they're the ones that are actually playing in this game to earn all this money. So they really need the game how they want it so that they have the best chance of earning this money. Now, obviously, they're leaning over towards the casual side more of things like the mechs. They even admitted... They actually said themselves the mechs are literally so that worse players can get their chance of winning or killing players. They literally admitted that things like the junk... I mean, they didn't say the junk rift, but the junk rift is just as bad, so you can assume it's for the same reason. They admitted things like the junk rift and the mech and all that, and things like the sword from previous seasons. They've all been added so that newer players can have their fair chance of getting a victory royale or getting an elimination or something. However, other games such as CSGO and League of Legends catered more towards the pros, and they're still thriving despite being released many years ago. CSGO, I believe, released in 2011 or 2012, and League of Legends has its 10-year anniversary coming up in October. Okay, League of Legends has nearly been out for 10 years, and it is still thriving because guess what? They have catered towards the pros a lot more. And when you go into League of Legends, you are told you're not going to do well. You know, you have to learn to play. You have to learn to play. That is the thing. You can't just automatically become a pro, you know? Like, I've played League of Legends a few times, and I mean, I pretty much quit the game because I was just so bad. I didn't even want to go in to, like, an actual ranked match. I just stayed in, like, bot matches, like, playing against computers, you know? I didn't actually play against real people, because I just knew that I'd get absolutely destroyed. Now, that means that, yes, of course, I haven't actually played it since, and that was about a year ago now. But, I mean, they don't lose anything, you know? They lost one player. By the time that they lost one player, they probably gained hundreds more, you know? And Epic probably gain even more a day. So, I think overall they should definitely cater more towards the pro community, and I mean separate casuals and pros. You know, make skill-based matchmaking. You know, make a separate pool, separate loot pool in competitive than casual. Okay, competitive doesn't need the mix. They don't need the junk rifts, okay? Yes, fair enough. Maybe Team Rumble, maybe 50-50. That needs mix and junk rifts, okay? No, I haven't really seen that many complaints about it in modes such as Team Rumble and 50-50, okay? I haven't really seen that many complaints about it in there, about mix and junk rifts being in there. But I've seen tons of complaints about it being in competitive especially. It's just not a good way to go. So I think, yes, they should absolutely cater towards the pro community more. They can still cater towards the casual community a little bit. It might not be easy to do, though, as I said, because the play base is so split, because it's so huge. But they can still do it a little bit, but for the most part, cater towards the pro community. And I'd say, yeah, just cater towards the pro community. They mostly know what's better for the game, like I said. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, pros are probably the most loyal players, you know, playing 8 hours a day. What kind of casual do you see playing 8 hours a day? You know, they might play like 3 or 4 games and then get off, whereas pros are playing 8 hours. You know, that's like a lot of matches. So yeah, cater towards the pro community more, I'd say. Other than that, that's it for this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.